Welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 70. The day after Memorial Day, we had an eventful weekend. What do we say we? It's a big, empty Chiva spot right here. Get well soon, buddy. We're going to go ahead and talk about Champions League. Champions League is done and over with. Chelsea have won their second ever European Cup, the only team in London to win a Champions League to this day. We also had San Diego Loyal getting their first 3 points, their first victory, the first points of the season at Torero in their home opener versus Las Vegas Lights in a 2-1 effort. That was fantastic. Chiva made a little blog. We're going to go ahead and go over that a little bit and some of the play that led us to the first points of the season. Also, we're going to talk Europa League. Manchester United. ¿Qué pasó, vato? What happened? De Gea. What's going on? Valladolid ends up winning the Europa League, making sure that Manchester is cupless in European competition this year as well. We're going to go ahead and talk about Zidane no longer being in Real Madrid, Aguero, new player in Barcelona, Copa America being moved into Brazil, and I mean, hopefully other stuff too, as time rolls on. I do want to say that this episode had already been recorded for about 20 minutes yesterday, in which I got some breaking news. Again, we're here in a garage. Let me take Chiva's nameplate off. But yeah, and so when that ended up happening, pretty much we had a family tragedy with the 17-year-old puppy that we had, passing on, and had to take care of that. So, good memories with Canela. But treat your dogs right. Boxer puppies are the best, and they grow up to be the best type of doggies. Anywho, so I just want to say that it was an eventful weekend, especially for us Chelsea supporters. As you can see, I have draped the studio with Chelsea apparel. I'm surprised that this shirt still kind of slides on. This is the 2011, 12. It's Frank Lampard jersey that I have. Frank Lampard being the my favorite soccer player of all time, just in general. But it brought us good luck. I actually don't usually wear any jerseys or any colors of the team on important days, because I just don't want to be any type of juju. No good juju, bad. It is what it is. I'm just here. I'm gonna support. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna analyze the game. But today's a special day, because again, Champions League is over, and we have ourselves is the game. We're all together, and winning is our aim. So cheer us through the sun and rain, 'cause Chelsea is our name. Chelsea have won the Champions League final 2-1 over Manchester City. I told every single one of you this was going to happen, even before the group stages. I really didn't think it was going to happen because there was turmoil. There was upside down dressing rooms, locker rooms, Frank Lampard getting fired after the amazing job he did building this team. But at the end of the day, he did his job. Frankie Lampard was the architect, and, kind of like the Gaudi Cathedral in Barcelona. Like it's a neo-Gothic, not neo-Gothic. I don't even know what it's called. It's surrealist in a sense in the architecture. You guys know what I'm talking about, the Gaudi Cathedral. The one that looks like it's melting. Again, this is what happens when Chiva's not here, right? So I'm an art history buff. So of course we're gonna talk about I guess art history in this sense. So yeah, this big old thing, the Gaudi Cathedral, Antonio Gaudi, Sagrada Familia isn't alive anymore, but they're still in construction for this masterpiece. And essentially, is what's happening is Frank Lampard was the architect of this team, and brought in players that were fantastic and ended up winning the team with Kai Havertz in that goal. But it's been a crazy season because this whole team was built together and was maintained not because of Havertz, Werner, and Ziyech. It was held together with Mason Mount's play, Jorginho's play, Azpilicueta in the defense, Mendy, who came in mid-season. It was just a complete team from the get-go, but then you just added those extra little shiny parts that, cost a pretty penny. This is what happens. Thank you, FIFA, for banning us from the transfer market that led us to being able to splurge and save up money for this year, in the pandemic year, where we were able to spend over 200 million euros for those respective, reinforcements. So I was nervous. I was really nervous moving into this game. When the lineups came out, it was weird. You can't really say that, Chelsea didn't win. Pep Guardiola lost it. I'll give you credit to that. Pep Guardiola didn't decide to put Fernandinho or Ferran out there, who have been playing amazing this season. When looking actually at the lineup, oh no, Chivas nameplate is here. Oh. But so when looking at the lineups here, it started with Ederson in goal for Manchester City, Kyle Walker, Stones, pretty good so far. They played a great. They were informed this season. Ruben Diaz in there, Zinchenko, who a little bit questionable to be thrown out there, but that's not the most questionable thing in this lineup for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva over with number 20 on the right. He started the game. That was a little bit off because Bernardo Silva isn't the speediest. He isn't the most physical. He's great tactically. He's technically. So I can give you that. So that gives you that advantage, playing a little bit behind Riyad Mahrez over on the right side. In the middle, driving everything, number 8, İlkay Gundogan, who was the maximum goal scorer this season for Manchester City with 17 goals. Phil Foden, the golden boy, over in midfield. That's Pep Guardiola's boy. Better than Mason Greenwood, but there's another Mason incoming that people don't really pay attention to. I mean, they pay attention to Mason Mount, obviously, but it's always between Greenwood and Phil Foden. But mini Frank Lampard is there, who ended up giving the assist for that goal, and I'll go over that in a bit. Kevin De Bruyne, former Chelsea. This is why I thought this is going to be perfect for Kevin De Bruyne to come in and just wreck Chelsea shit and win the Champions League and just tout it over their over them, because they chose to sell him. They chose to let him go. They went over to Werder Bremen for a couple seasons, came over into Manchester City and has been killing it. Probably the best midfielder in the game. But Pep Guardiola lines him up front along with Raheem Sterling. Here on Google, from what it was telling me, as opposed to the graphics from the Champions League final, lists Kevin De Bruyne in a central role, maybe more of a center forward in a 4-3-3 formation. Raheem Sterling over on the left. Raheem Sterling just, non-existent for the entirety of the game in his performance in the Champions League. He had a couple of dangerous approaches, but he was in the pocket of our boy Reece James in the back. What am I doing? I need to put some... There you go. As the song's about to end. So there you go. There is my little notes. But no. So for Chelsea, this is a team that, it's the best team that you're probably going to get out there, aside from maybe a Pulisic swapping for somebody else. But other than that, they started with Edouard Mendy, again, as I was saying, coming into the mid-season, just destroying the hopes and dreams of people, of center forwards that want to score on him, because he did an amazing job this season. And it's an understatement to say that he had a good season, because he had a legitimately legendary Champions League campaign. Coming in and having the least goal scorer in him, most clean sheets in tournament history, and este morro, Edouard Mendy, coming over from Uber Eats League One over in France. He's part of the Senegalese national team. He's 29 years old. He looks like a kid, but he's a solid goalkeeper. And that was part of the reason why that defense couldn't be able to do the things that they did, because they could move and press forward, but knowing that at the back you have a good shot stopper, a great goalkeeper with his legs, good vision. But definitely, Eduardo Mendy over in the back is just one of the few highlights of this team. Thiago Silva in the center back position had to come out. I believe it was a groin injury, just probably pulled something, could not continue. That was sad, because he, along with Tuchel, were in the Champions League final last year. Didn't make it with PSG, so now they come to Chelsea. Another Champions League final. Tuchel, the manager for Chelsea, was said and thought to have been in line to be another one of those managers that in history that lose back-to-back Champions League finals. Fortunately, that didn't happen. But Thiago Silva played an important role in that game in the beginning, where he was able to just command that defense and just, you know, just boss it around, man, because there wasn't a moment where I thought that this defense, even with Thiago Silva coming out and Andreas Christensen, excuse me, coming in, there wasn't a point where I thought, oh, this is gonna be it. Like, this is gonna be the point in time where, you know, they're gonna go. Manchester City is gonna go ahead and pierce through, even though they were pressuring dangerously from the beginning. You know, one of the moments was with Raheem Sterling, where Mendy just played it beautifully after a beautiful pass over to Sterling. Good control, could have been a little bit better, but the body of Reece James, who just had him in his back pocket. Reece James, just Ashley Cole 2.0, coming in and just bossing the entire right side, up and down the field too, because he was very much heavily involved in the play moving forward. But yeah, so this was one of the most dangerous chances that Manchester City had in the first half. It honestly could have, had Raheem Sterling had a better first touch, and controlled it, it would have been good. And then, obviously, Timo Werner, who has not had, I don't want to say a bad season, because he really hasn't had a bad season, but he could have had a much better season, especially with some of the chances he had leading up into this year in Premier League, FA Cup, wherever. Like, he had a chance to have an outstanding season, but he did what he had to do. But, you know, this is one of the chances right here where classic Werner, right? So it's pretty much any other center back in the world is going to go ahead and not miss this. Here's a good through ball in between the legs, and Timo Werner just with his left leg on the line of the 6-yard box, swings and misses. He swung and missed, and this is the moment where I thought, okay, it's not going to happen. Like, you can't be missing such important chances and think you have a shot to win in a Champions League final. And this was after that dangerous play from Raheem Sterling, right, where, you know, had little things happened in the favor of Manchester City, that would have ended up being a goal. And then you go ahead and do this. You just can't be missing those opportunities in a Champions League final at all whatsoever. It was a bad omen, I thought, at that point. I was like, okay, well, I think that's going to be one of the only chances we're going to have in this entire game. But literally, he just whiffed it. He whiffed it. The thing about this team is that Manchester City didn't play a good game, right? They played as well as they were set up to play with the formation and the players that Pep Guardiola chose. On any given day, 9 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times, Manchester City probably beats Chelsea. And Chelsea, being the team that beat them 3 times in this entire campaign, combined in FA Cup, Premier League, and then Champions League final, you know, they had to play 3 perfect games. And they did. They played 3 perfect games, and none better than this final, with amazing chances that Manchester City had, and even better. This is the thing. Even better defense. This is some defensive masterclass. Haven't even finished going on over the lineup for Chelsea, because I'm stuck in the defense. Antonio Rudiger with a face mask coming. That can't be comfortable. Who then later broke Kevin De Bruyne's face. Just played an amazing role, and this is just one of the chances with Raheem Sterling playing a great ball underneath the legs of every single Chelsea defender, all the way into across the box, and Antonio Rudiger with a beautiful, just last-ditch effort slide to prevent Manchester City from just tapping it in. And that was what it took, right? It looked like every single play, Chelsea was taking it 10 times more seriously and just were putting their bodies on the line and just didn't care for anything other than preventing a goal. And they played like it top to bottom. So going over a little bit more on this lineup, right? So Jorginho coming over from Napoli, Brazilian/Italian descent, was Sarri, when he came over from Napoli, brought him over, and since then has been a staple in this midfield. He's not the fastest. He's not the most technically gifted player, but he's just that perfect player in that role to get things done for you. Jorginho, I'm just getting ahead of myself. We'll talk Jorginho in a bit because he has some good stuff. And then besides Jorginho, I mean, I can play in the Champions League final and have this guy next to me, because N'Golo Kante is the best midfielder in the world right now. There's no question. And midfielders are a strange breed because, you know, you could technically be a left midfielder, but you're more of a winger. You can be a defensive midfielder, a la, you know, I guess Fernandinho, who also played in a center back position this year. But N'Golo Kante is the best box-to-box midfielder. He is involved with everything. And N'Golo Kante, throughout this Champions League campaign, not only came back from an injury, but when he did come back from an injury and was 100%, he had the entirety of Atletico Madrid in his pocket. He had the entirety of Real Madrid in his pocket. He had the entirety of Manchester City in his pocket, and still was creating chances, moving forward, distracting, opening up play, making sure that he was recovering the balls, not just in the defensive third, but in midfield and in Manchester City's own third, making sure that they did not move forward in such a dangerous way. And if they did, he would still track them down and he would still bring them to their knees and take the ball away from them. I don't know, man. Like, N'Golo Kante is a legendary player in Chelsea history. You know, his story, let's see, N'Golo Kante, his story is wild, right? So he came over from Boulogne in the French league, the second division French league, moving into Canaanites. WWE references in this episode. This is what happens with Chiva not being here. Leicester City obviously came in, won that Premier League title with them. Next year, he joins Chelsea in 2016, wins the Premier League title there. But I mean, it's amazing what this guy's been able to accomplish, and not even that, the efficacy, the efficiency that he as a player has, and the effect on his any given teams is unquestionable. He won the World Cup, he's won FA Cup, he's won Premier League, he's won Champions League, he's won the Europa League, he's won pretty much everything that he's been involved with. The only thing I think is maybe the Euros. I don't think he was on the team for the Euros. I mean, he's going to be this year, and I think, you know, France is going to be really, really dangerous, especially with, like, this guy didn't even play. The leading scorer in the Champions League tournament didn't even play, and it was Olivier Giroud. Like, this is how stacked this team is. I do have to say that, you know, again, I am a Lampard fanboy, a Lampard stan, and I will not let his name be disrespected in the managerial/general manager sense, because he 100% built this team. He just couldn't handle it, right? And he's very young in his managerial career. He himself is a very young person, manager wise. The only experience he had was Derby County, the Little Sheeps. And then jumped into Chelsea, so that was a huge leap. But even then, he was doing all right. If going back into, like, what the lead up for Champions League, you know, I was watching it back when they played against Rennes, when they played against Sevilla, when they played against all those group stages and all those wins. It was Frank Lampard there, celebrating those dominant 4-0 wins in Champions League. I don't care if it's Krasnodar. I don't care if it's Mohamed Salah, Basel FC. Like, I don't care if it's those type of teams. Like, if you still win 4-0 in such a dominant fashion in the Champions League on away, that's a team that you have to pay attention to, because again, there's those teams that are like Real Madrid right now that are struggling 2-1 versus ¿cómo se llama? Shakhtar Donetsk, right? All respect to Shakhtar, but you should be getting destroyed by the likes of Real Madrid. Real Madrid fans are not happy right now because, this was a terrible campaign for them. They didn't win anything this year, and the first time they don't win silverware in, I believe, 10 years. But I just want to say that we, Chelsea, beat not only legendary clubs, not only the champions of La Liga. So Atletico Madrid ended up being champions of La Liga. So naturally, after you beat Atletico to move past in the Champions League, you have to be taken seriously. And people weren't. And even myself, I had a little bit of a doubt at that point. But once they started beating away Atletico Madrid, that's when things got serious, and in such a dominant fashion as well. Like it's crazy. So here comes Tuchel, según. He's gonna fix stuff because Lampard and his team at that point, the squad, was just not doing well. Since 2012, right? It was 9 years that Chelsea had been able to be in this position. Before that, they played against Manchester United. So going into the game, I thought, is Manchester United and just Manchester's team is going to be the kryptonite of Chelsea in Champions League finals? It was not necessarily a negative thought. It was just being realistic. It's amazing the work that these guys did, and again, thanks to the transfer ban. Thank you, FIFA, for doing that. You finally gave Thiago Silva a medal. But let's finish up the lineups, I guess, because we're still in the lineups part. Mason Mount, right? El hijo prodigo, the prodigy child of Frank Lampard. Like, that's his baby. That's his guy. And the fact that he was able to develop into what he did into this game was just amazing. And he did everything that Mason Mount was asked to. Mason Mount, again, this kid is only 22 years old. 22 years old, and he assisted a goal over to German international and very expensive player, 21. He's younger. Kai Havertz, who's about to have a birthday in 10 days, is 21. The scorer of the Champions League final to win was 21-year-old Kai Havertz. Like, it's just a glimmer of hope for the future too. Like, you want to say the future, like, well, this is the present. The present is what you aim for. If a project comes together and you think, hey, Kai Havertz, he's 21, Mason Mount, you have maybe Tammy Abraham, Pulisic, you have those youngins going into the game, and start building a culture, this Chelsea 2.0. Let's give them a year, 2 years, 3 years before we start asking for, hey, I need Champions League semi-final appearance. I need top. I mean, I guess right now, top 4 is what it is, because the Premier League is pretty difficult. But hey, it's pretty soon too, right? We want to get ahead and ask, hey, I need a Premier League title from you guys. I need this. I need the FA Cup. And this team really has what it takes to take the entirety of Chelsea Football Club into new heights. There's a lot of just ball washing going to happening for Chelsea, because again, this is my episode. I get to do whatever the fuck I want. And not only whatever the fuck I want, Jiva's not here to stop me. So it's great. And it was a good week for him to take off, especially with everything that went on with Manchester United and Valladolid in the Europa League final. because yikes. Oh, we finished second place. All right, cool. That's fine. I kept telling you, even if Chelsea ended up in 6th, 7th, 8th place, relegated, whatever, we were going to play in the Champions League. I told everybody, it doesn't matter. This is the team. They have the team to do it. Were they going to do it against such a impressive and dominant and strong Manchester City side that, you know, looked on paper, regardless of, I mean, except for what happened in this formation, regardless of formation, regardless of players, you would still have them as a favorite. Even with the lineups coming out like that, you question Pep Guardiola and be like, hey, you know, Fernandinho, Ferran Torres, Joao Cancelo, maybe. But even then, it's they would be the A side, right? In a boxing match, the Manchester City was going to be the A side regardless. And then Tommy Mueller, not Tommy Mueller, Tomas, Timo Werner. So Timo Werner had a couple howlers, like I was saying, throughout this game. And he did his part in the goal as well. I'll be honest, you know, he opened up the field with his run diagonally to make sure that Mason Mount saw the clear path to have that pass over into Kai Havertz to score that first and only goal in that final. But I mean, what can be said about this team, man? They fought to the very end. Like I said, defensively, they were incredibly sound. The chances that were given, man, I'm looking right now, another Antonio Rudiger slide, right? So right here, as Kante misses a header in the first half, great pass by De Bruyne, just laying the body on the line. This is dead to rights, right? Any other situation with this beautiful pass into the middle, you have all this green pasture in front of you. If, you know, obviously, if you want to do it a one time, he could have done a one time. He chose to go ahead and try to control it, dribble a little bit forward, a little bit lucky with the bounce that he does. That does happen after his touch, but then Rudiger already closing in on that angle and making sure that that shot is not going to get past them, and that's exactly what happened. Just laying their body on the line. Antonio Rudiger had a very underrated performance in the Champions League final, I have to say. But again, it's one of those things where it was a team effort. The team played well. Chelsea played the perfect game. Defensively, offensively, they played on a counterattack. They dominated the ball for a little bit, just, you know, portions of the game. Obviously, they didn't have the possession that Manchester City had, but, you know, it was what they had to do. They did what they had to do and the way that they had to do it. All credit to Andreas Christensen, who came in. Christensen, just a lifelong transfer, a loanee from Chelsea as a youngster. Yeah. Denmark, I remember as one of those things. Like, I remember the first time I lay eyes on their like FUT card. I'm like, no. On their FIFA card, like, no, this guy's not like that. I did the same thing with the 16-year-old silver 74 Romelu Lukaku. I'm like, this kid's gonna be good. This is the next Drogba. He has the body, he has the attitude. And then there was that video of him going into Stamford Bridge. I want to play here one day, and he did, and then he left. But maybe he's coming back. We'll see. Because I mean, if you add Lukaku into this team, that would just be disgusting. So yeah, so this led up to the minute 42, where, like Victor Moses or regular Moses, Mason Mount split the defense and just laid the perfect weighted pass through ball into Kai Havertz's legs. Let's see if I can do this. Hopefully, last time I tried to show the Champions League lead up for 2012, UEFA was like, no, and had me take down the video. But we'll see what they do with French commentary, huh? Oh, this pass. That pass right there. Kai Havertz going to the left of Ederson. Ederson, who did touch it with his hand outside the box. So regardless, it was not going to be a good deal for Manchester City, because more than likely, had anything happened, Ederson would have gotten a red card for that action. You have to throw in, is Joe Hart? Who is the backup for Manchester United? Not Willy Caballero, because Willy Caballero is with Chelsea. And look at that, Willy Caballero coming over for Manchester United when they thought he was all washed up. He was like, here you go. Here's the Champions League, Willy Caballero. Joe Hart. Let's see, is it Joe Hart? Joe Hart. No, he is a Tottenham. Who is the backup? Keepers, Manchester City. I know it's Ederson. Scott Carson. Never mind. All right. Well, it would have been bad news had they lost Ederson. But this play starts all the way back with Mendy. Mendy playing it through his defense, opening up play. Sending it over. Good play. This right here is the key. Is this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful first touch. Bam. And that's the difference right there, right? Like, he didn't take the time to control it and then dribble, pass, and then move slowly. No, he just first timed it, left foot. Here you go. Gave it over to Mason Mount. Mason Mount looks up. So right here you have Timo Werner doing his run in behind these two defenders and between John Stones to make it seem like he's going to go ahead and do the overhead ball. John Stones has his eyes on Werner. These guys are going to just turn their head around and see Werner. They're going to think that's going to go to him. But leaving this wide open lane right in the middle where Kai Havertz already recognizes what he's going to do. It's either going to be a overhead through ball or beautiful through ball right to him. Right there, Ederson is already defeated. He's going to last-ditch effort, try to touch it with his hand. Again, it was going to be a red card regardless. Kai Havertz, cool, calm, and collected, almost even Torres-like, almost Fernando Torres in Barcelona, like just cool, calm, collected, gets rid of, not Victor Valdez, Ederson, and just taps it in for the first goal of the Champions League final. Everybody going crazy. Again, this is fantastic. Hopefully everybody's vaccinated in there, guys. No masks, which is fine. If you are vaccinated, good job on you. If you're not, probably want to get onto that. But yeah, so that was the goal, game-winning goal that ended up being, because I was in the first half going into halftime. There was a whole second half to come about, right? Because that's what soccer is. It has two halves. Sometimes it has three halves, especially if you add 7 goddamn minutes of stoppage time. If there's one thing, of course, I'm always 100% player safety, player everything. But the fact that there's a water break in the middle of it just guarantees that there's going to be crazy amount of added aggregate time added on. But again, if the time added on is like 10 minutes, might as well be a 3-part game. Just split it up or figure something out. I don't know, but I don't like more than I've never liked more than 5 minutes. Granted, Kevin De Bruyne was down with a broken orbital bone on the ground for a while after being charged with a shoulder into the face by Antonio Rudiger. People say it was a red card. I don't think it was a red card just because it's something that happens on a regular basis, and just this one time it just happened to be on the wrong place, wrong time. Is it a yellow? I'll give it to you. Was there intention of malice? I don't believe so, and that's the reason why it wasn't a red card. But again, these type of challenges and tackles and collisions happen every game, and it's just unfortunate that that's the way it had to go. Thiago Silva was emotional, obviously, as he left the field, because last game, he wasn't able to play in the Champions League final. Was he? Maybe. Perhaps. Perchance has it. So obviously a very emotional Thiago Silva when he did come out. Trying to think if there's like that image of him, because he was not having it. As soon as he came out, put the jersey over his head and just started managing too. Like, this is the thing about Thiago Silva. Like, he he was awesome and started becoming almost like an assistant manager on the bench. Just a nervous wreck, moving people, talking to his defense, telling, hey, do this, do that. Obviously, he can't contribute on the field, but what he can is bring that experience that you have Tuchel on the floor just praying after a miss. But I mean, he was, I felt for him, and in a sense, it's just poetic justice where, you lose an important, a pivotal part of that defense, and again, Christensen stepped up, but it's a big loss, and it evens out with, yes. Havertz scores. Hart last ditch defending. Hart. Mahrez shot over the bar in that last second effort. Yeah, that was cardiac arrest waiting to happen. I actually watched this game in Spanish on Fox Sports. But in any case, let's move into kind of over into the end, right? I do like these. I've seen these around. I actually discovered these TikToks. I'm not much of a TikTok person at all whatsoever. I don't understand it, but I'll understand the content that comes out sometimes, and especially in these types of terms. So there's these videos, TikToks that are coming out. Look at me, millennial. These TikToks that are coming out that are pretty much like the pain and suffering of player I saw with the Manchester United one. I'll show it later. Of them losing the Champions League Europa League final. But this, I mean, I like them. Obviously because I'm the winning side. Oh, and then just the despair. Foden, Mahrez, Kun Aguero. Kun Aguero, man. You said that you were going to never leave Manchester City without winning a Champions League. This was the opportunity. This was it. This was Manchester City's chance to finally, and again, part of why I thought this was going to be it. This is the reason why they're going to go ahead and win it, because they are finally going to put Aguero on that stage, and he's going to, almost in a Drogba-like sense, right? It's his last game for the club that he's played forever. He's going to take off after the season and then be the one that delivers the game-winning goal and give Manchester City their first ever Champions League trophy. That didn't happen. And, sometimes soccer works that way, where like Drogba, like that situation was insane because it was written in the stars, literally, like it was written in the stars. This situation too, you can argue like it's written in the stars, but sometimes those things just don't happen. And celebrating. Tuchel was insane, right? So Tuchel is an insane person. Like this guy was screaming, just almost Piojo Herrera status, just talking to, like, screaming at the fans, screaming at his bench to get amped, get pumped, get hyped. He looked insane, but if there was anybody that wanted this more, and I don't think it's possible, because Tuchel, had just lost one last year, and that can't be easy at all. But again, a testament to his work, right? I have to give it and hand it to him, because to come into a team that was built so well and built to win, maybe not now, but in the future, but then just take the reins and take it to the heights that Tuchel did, is unheard of, right? So I don't know what they're doing over in Germany, but those German managers are amazing. Obviously you have Estebato that went to coach now Germany after Joachim Low. Forget his name. He was from Bayern. You have Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp. You have now Tuchel. I'll put Joachim Low in there. He's a World Cup winning manager. But after the game, it was cardiac, and it ended, and it's just, everything I remember from 2012 just came back rushing, and it was a really special day. I was somewhere where I couldn't really like celebrate. I had to kind of hold it in, and that kind of, I think it destroyed me because there's so many emotions that I had to bottle up, so much happiness, and then I just took a nap for like 3 hours after, and it was amazing. I was talking about Jorginho, right? So here's Jorginho after winning the Champions League final, and not only that, like he was emotional. Let's see if I can play. There we go. This is gonna be dangerous, guys. I'm gonna try to translate his Portuguese into English as he is speaking. So we'll see. All right, so the reporter asks, "Hey, congrats, Porty." He's like, "Thank you, mate. How are you feeling?" It's unbelievable, man. It's difficult to find words to describe this. You go through a lot of stuff. Up and downs. Critics. But you don't drop your head. You work even more. And believe that what you're doing, it's inexplicable when you win this cup. There's no words for this. It's unbelievable. My family's watching all of this. It's simply incredible. One word to describe, incredible. I can't stop crying, man. It's surreal. It's all surreal. Imbituba, winner of the Champions League. Imbituba is a region in Brazil where his family is from, I believe mostly from his mother's side. Which is, even then, like, that's one of the things that just got me about Jorginho is when he signed over from Napoli, there was a video from Chelsea that came out where they took his mom into the Chelsea superstore to see Jorginho's, and when she saw his number 5 jersey being sold, and you know, just seeing it, she just broke down crying, and Jorginho was there. It was really, really emotional, and I love that. He says, Immobile, thank you for all the support. Thank you for the positive energy. I can feel you all with me. I'll always carry my name, my hometown, wherever I may go. I'm so proud of being in my hometown. It's a wonderful place. He's like, who is the first person you're thinking of right now? He's like, not only one person, it's my entire family, my kids. It's unbelievable, man. Yeah, he's gonna give me a breather, man. Oh no, I yell at Chiva for this all the time. Like, why are your alarms off? Why aren't you this? Yikes. Anywho's, that was that. Another part of the post game, right? That was fantastic. Was when Kai Havertz was being interviewed, and he was asked like, "Hey, hey." No, that's not what happened. Kai Havertz was being asked, obviously being the goal scorer, like, how do you feel? Like, this reporter, I think it was from BT Sports, was asking him, how do you feel? What's going through your mind? Dave Aspilicueta just like jumped in and just like, you know, not a save, just like derailed the interview. It was a stupid question, to be honest. Let's see if I can do that.
He paid it all back in one night nearly. To be honest, right now I give a fuck on that. We won the fucking champion.
So pretty much the reporter was asking like, "Hey, Chelsea paid a pretty penny for you. Do you think it was it paid off? It was worth it?" And the answer was,
to be honest, right now I give a fuck on that. We won the fucking Champions League. And we just said it right now. I apologize for that fruity language, but
fuck off. Apologize for that stupid question, asshole. Hopefully I never meet this guy in our ventures and he never sees this. But yeah, so just insanity. Thank you, soccer, right? This is what the part of what's awesome about being a soccer fan and is usually that everybody has that one team, and you can see it from both sides. Like I remember 08, Manchester United, Terry slipping, Nicolas Anelka. People forget he also missed the next penalty because John Terry was 4, Anelka was 5. The lows, the highs of 2012, moving into again doing it again here in 2021. Conte, I mean, Lewandowski, probably he was owed a Ballon d'Or, and that's probably why he's going to win the next Ballon d'Or. But I don't think that Conte is out of the question to win the Ballon d'Or this year because he's, again, genuinely the best player in the midfield possible. And let's do it again, right? Because this team is here to stay, you know. Can't say enough about Conte. Like, it's incredible the journey that this takes you. And actually, in a bit, we're going to go ahead and because Mike's still here, the intern. We're still going to talk. I'm going to talk to a fan, de Cruz Azul, lifelong fan. His dad was a fan. You know, brought him up. He wasn't much of a soccer fan himself, but again, fell into it. And since, you know, a while back, he's been supporting Cruz Azul. And no more Cruz Azuliada. Cruz Azul finally won their first title in, I believe, 23 years. It's a long time. I remember when they won that in 97. So that'll be a little bit down the line. I'm trying to think anything else. There was the announcement of the Champions League squad of the season. If we want to look at it real quick. So it's telling, especially now in this day and age, how much old names and players that I grew up with are starting to move into the back. Because this is a very different and young and diverse lineup of teams, of players. So the squad of the season, according to the UEFA Champions League, is goalkeepers Thibaut Courtois, Ederson, Mendy, obviously from Chelsea. In those, you know, Mendy, I think, just worked himself up there because Courtois and Ederson were considered already just top caliber. Azpilicueta from Chelsea, as moving into the defense, obviously has to be named there, captain of the Champions League winning side. I love Dave. If I can have 11 Daves on the field, 11 Azpilicuetas, you'd win back-to-back trebles, like no question. Ruben Diaz, defender for Manchester City. Marquinhos, really good center back. I like Rudiger, Chilwell, and Alaba. Alaba, new member of Real Madrid. Then in the midfield, you have Jorginho, Mason Mount, and Kante. That was the winning team, right? That's the winning center mids. Honestly, like, and everybody else on this list, Kante had in their pocket other than Jorginho and Mount, right? So De Bruyne, Gundogan, Modric, didn't really play against. I mean, wasn't really involved with. He was. Sergio Oliveira, pretty much was also contained, and Phil Foden. Good on you, Foden. You made the list. I don't see Mason Greenwood on this. Oh, they're in Europa. Oh, they lost. Moving into the. It's great. It's great to be able to just talk all this shit because everybody was like, "Oh, Manchester City's gonna win it. It's gonna be this. It's gonna be that." No, you guys were wrong. I told every single one of you it's gonna be Chelsea. Chelsea's gonna win, and here I am on my soapbox again. They won the fucking Champions League. Erling Haaland and Mbappe up top for the team of the season in the Champions League. Lewandowski, arguably probably the best striker in the world. Benzema with a resurgence. Wasn't enough to bring Madrid out of their despair. Neymar in Paris. And Messi still making an appearance there. No Ronaldo in this. I believe first year in because they didn't do so well in the Champions League, and just in general, they barely made it into Champions League for next year. So that's not good. I'm trying to just figure out if there's anything else in this fantastic. Let's see the despair. One more time. I love this. I'm sorry, Aguero. I'm so sorry. But look, you can go win La Liga now, I guess. You know, join your pal. It'd be such funny shit if Aguero doesn't join. So I will talk about San Diego Loyal in a bit. I just want to go ahead and go all across Europe and then move our way back home, because that was an important matchup that we had, an important victory here with our own team. Again, when your team wins the Champions League, it's a special thing, right? It's an opportunity that doesn't come around that often. It was 9 years since the last time they won it, so I have to. Real quick, you know, Europa League happened, and here I am with my little videos again, my TikToks. So this game, we'll just go over quickly because, again, it's only Europa League. I rate Europa League because Chelsea won it last year, and historically with Ivanovic and stuff against the Benfica, great matches and still silverware, but silverware that Manchester United doesn't have. This game was difficult for Manchester United. They should have honestly been able to beat them in regulation time. Villarreal. I said Valladolid twice earlier, but Villarreal played a really solid game. I guess it's been 12 times that a Spanish team has made it to a final, and 12 times that a Spanish team has won in a Europa League final. And it was a tight game going back and forth between Villarreal and Manchester United. Rashford was just not getting it done. Let me see. Europa, as we discovered last time, there is a Europa League anthem, and it sucks ass. Like it's not anywhere near as good as the Champions League. The Champions League is one of those things where I need to be lowered in my casket too. Just that's definitely on the list. Again, to make sure to understand each other right here. Possession doesn't mean everything. 61% possession by Manchester United, 39% possession. If you look at the shots, though, the efficiency of shot making, 12 shots in that possession time compared to 14 shots from Manchester United. They only had one less shot on target, 2 by Man U, 1 by Villarreal, the Submarines. And, I mean, it was a game that could have and should have been won by Manchester United in regulation time. Some blast from the past, man. Raúl Albiol, former Real Madrid player. Parejo, who was a really good player. Baca, who formerly played in, I believe, Everton. I mean, in the bench, they didn't even use him. Funes Mori is a really good player. Francois Coquelin coming over from Arsenal with Emery and winning a Europa League. Emery, just the king of Europa League. Paco Alcacer is also a really good player. And then with the Manchester United side, you had Cavani up top. Rashford didn't do anything. Bruno Fernandes wasn't anything special in this game. Mason Greenwood is showing why he's not the best Mason and the best youngster in England, in the English squad. Paul Pogba, who really could have done more. I feel the only two people that I felt in this game for Manchester United that played well was McTominay and Cavani. They were the only two that I thought were, you know, really wanted to win it. The defense, ni se diga. Lindelof was the one that made that mistake in the first half to get Villarreal up 1-0. Luke Shaw, Bailey, and Wan-Bissaka didn't help. De Gea, who's a shadow of himself. I can't really blame De Gea for the loss. 21 penalties, 10 up, 10 made. And then obviously number 11. And this is why you practice for every situation, right? As a goalkeeper, your dream is to be able to kick a penalty. That's why when Manuel Neuer did it in 2012 versus Chelsea, I was like, oh shit, he's like kicking third. That means they practice this. And that's nothing that, not something that, obviously they have practiced too much, because it was a low-driven shot. It was almost like a pass compared to the amazing goal that the Villarreal goalkeeper placed in the top corner. It was fantastic. But again, let's look at the despair. De Gea. I knew it was gonna get to De Gea. I knew it was going to get to the goalkeeper. It's just everybody was just doing really well. There was it's probably one of the best penalty kick sessions or rounds that I've ever seen. Just the placement, the power, they didn't figure it out. Low right, it was where everybody, both sides were going to. The goalkeeper just couldn't figure out. There was a couple where it went off of ¿cómo se llama este güey? Not Gulli? No. Villarreal goalkeeper is Rulli. Jerónimo Rulli. So there was a chance too where Manchester United had a penalty and it could have ended earlier than it did. Rulli stopped it, but it still went past him. Doesn't make sense. He almost stopped it and it went past him. But then as he scored his, De Gea's turn. Kick. He does like a little, let me see, little hop and then kicks. Little. He is running, hop, then kicks. So pretty much dead giveaway, easy penalty to save for Rulli. Bruno Fernandes, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Bruno Fernandes was feeling that. Then they showed Greenwood on the bench. And Manchester United, trophyless. I love how like all the suggestions after were Kante lifting a Champions League trophy. Kai Havertz with Ederson on the floor. Highlights, extended highlights. Beautiful. I love it. All right. So last things in Europe, just obviously two big things that happened actually in La Liga, right? So you had Kun Aguero being presented for Barcelona, and you know it's a move that's a little weird, not necessarily weird. It's just odd. It's a Barcelona move that it seems like they're not learning from their mistakes. It's a move where it's understandable because he's compas de Messi. You hope this is the Hail Mary attempt to save Messi from leaving, but it wouldn't just be the funniest thing if Messi ended up leaving for Manchester City. Like, he's just done with it, right? But here's a 32-year-old striker, right? Barcelona is known for being one of the best teams in the world. But recently they've been making some really poor signings. Arguably, like Pjanic is a really good player, but he's older. They had Vidal there a couple of years ago, then went over to Inter and won the Serie A. But a 32-year-old striker who's not necessarily in his prime anymore, just as a... So the Padres last year brought in Yonder Alonso for Manny Machado because Manny Machado was slumping, and then they brought his Yonder Alonso, his su cuñado, like brother-in-law, and then all of a sudden like started raking and started doing well. So maybe this is that same type of thing, like Kun Agüero, who is wife with Maradona's daughter, who is the godfather of Messi's kid Thiago. So there's ties there. There's relationships there. Obviously, they both play for Argentina, so this in turn can be better and good for the Argentinian national team if they both end up making it, and probably will, onto the this 2022 Argentina roster. But it's gonna be Carlos Ancelotti makes stunning return as Real Madrid manager. Oh. Breaking news: Carlos Ancelotti makes stunning return as Real Madrid manager after leaving Everton. This just in: Everton's gonna suck again. I'm sorry, Evertonians, as I have Kun Agüero over here for Manchester, leaving Manchester City into Barcelona, getting presented at the Camp Nou. But again, just to reiterate, Everton's gonna suck again. Pobrecitos. They had a really good season last season. So just in the beginning, it was fun to watch. James Rodriguez over there. Oh man, what if he brings James Rodriguez with him again? That'll be interesting. So obviously Ancelotti is moving into Real Madrid because is out as manager of Real Madrid after, dropping a old school style report and interview to a local newspaper, Spanish newspaper, AS, and pretty much giving Real Madrid the business and telling them, hey, I'm not leaving because I'm burnt out. I'm not leaving because of this. I'm leaving because I wasn't given the support that I wanted. And the support that I wanted, I kept asking for and never came. And I'm just going to leave. Like, I'm ready to go for anybody else that's out there that wants to have a semi-premium manager. I still have my questions about Zinedine Zidane as a manager because, well, he hasn't really built anything. The team that he built is this last Real Madrid team. He had most hands in that. I'll give you Casemiro. I'll give you, that's pretty much it. The resurgence of Benzema, thanks to him. But other than that, like Marcos Asensio, Rodri, Vinicius, it's just not working. And in part two, because of Hazard's injury, Hazard hasn't also been helping. Because, he's been on the bench this whole time. But it's interesting, man. Like, very, very interesting things happening over in La Liga. Real quick, I'll mention, I guess, Copa America was moved from Colombia over into Argentina? No. Somewhere else. But then eventually it's now moved back into Brazil. So that's going to be fun. A Brazilian Copa America is always fun, especially Brazil-Argentina, which inevitably will happen at some point. So I think that's enough European soccer. So I think it's time to bring it on home. Bring it on home, bring it on home, bring it on home. San Diego Loyal have finally, the Rock has come back to San Diego. That was actually what he said when he came back to San Diego. To help Eugene, a very, very tasteless WWE character, saving him from Jonathan Coachman. And here is a tangent that I don't need, but I'm going to shoehorn in anyways. Anyway. So San Diego Loyal get their first points of the season, and in doing that, brought joy and happiness and smiles all across San Diego. I mean, it was time. It was getting ridiculous. Shout out to the locals and the Chavos for that pre-game bonfire that they threw. Was there for a little bit. Provided pizzas at the end because shout out to our local Kiwi, Nick Duffy, for helping get some of those pizzas to people over at Fiesta Island. But into Saturday, first home game of the season, first time that fans were allowed into the stands since March 7th, 2020, where everything went to shit and everybody was locked out, and the fan support was not there. Something that I still will harp on and say is this team is an emotional team. To give context, and I do mention this quite a lot, in that 1-1 Las Vegas Lights game, after the game, Jack Metcalf came over and said, saying hi to people, and it's, hey, how's it going, Jack? Good game. He's like, you know what? I'm sorry. We're going to make sure to do this right and get you guys a win that you guys deserve. Later, they went over to Tacoma, did exactly that, but not in front of their home fans. There wasn't a chance, an opportunity to do that up until today. This last week, May 29th, played against Las Vegas Lights, the same opponent that they played in March 7th, that home opener, and things were not going well in the first half. And by well, I mean like, they just weren't clicking, and it seemed like it was yet another instance of here we go again, right? Like, here we go again. Because up until today, to be completely honest, and I'll let my friend Mike over here tell you exactly what San Diego Loyal was like up until this weekend.
And were the worst team in the USL.
What?
They sucked ass and were the worst team in the USL.
Okay, well, that did not work out because they did suck. Not gonna lie, they did suck and were one of the worst teams in the USL, being 0-4. Make excuses, give the reasons why. Well, that's fine, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But San Diego Loyal, again, with fans, 34% capacity. Chiva was able to go out there and he did a vlog, just recorded a bunch of stuff and content, and I brought it back together, uploaded it. Thank you for everybody who's watched it so far. But again, let me see if I can pull up a little bit of the game and the highlights. Hopefully.
Opposite sideline is Steve Cherundolo.
That was part of the broadcast. It was nothing here. I just want to make it clear that that was part of the broadcast. And shout out to everybody in the front office who was running up and down like headless chickens and made that night work. So shout out to everybody over at Loyal.
His former U.S. men's national teammate.
Oh, wow.
Arts products special offers visit selectsportsamerica.com.
So,
here is Metcalf. The line on the cross, right to Blake, heads it up, and it's batted away.
Okay, so first 15 minutes, we're looking dangerous. I enjoyed this game from the comfort of Mexicali in 102-degree heat. So the first 15-20 minutes, it was a little bit of a back and forth. Loyal had pretty much their game plan set, is what they've always kind of done. It's their identity. It's just try to get possession through the back, out the wings, kick it back in. And then this is hard. I miss Chiva. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's weird because you can bounce things off, and sometimes they're going to be like, hey, Chiva, like, what do you think about this? And then he'd go like blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah, and then I'd be like, okay, I gotta look up a video, gotta set this up, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But yeah, so San Diego Loyal were pressing. It was a good back and forth. In the 15th minute, I believe, you know, going back into this vlog, there was a moment where Chiva pretty much predicts like, oh wow, it's gonna happen. It's happening here in the background. You see minute 13, right? So
Ivana had a chance on goal. Spencer has had a couple chances. Yeah, we just gotta be a little more clinical.
You can hear the locals and the chavos in the back. You can see them. Again, subscribe to the YouTube.
Pretty decent crowd, if you ask me, man.
Pretty decent crowd.
Oh man! Oh, great cross by Jack. Jack. Jack Blake got a good header.
Minute 16, rolling up, still doing good. And that was the reaction to actually that play right here. You could pretty much see Chiva in the corner over there. There's a rotund shape behind the compass, not corner, behind the compass advertisement.
There's that opportunity for us.
Shout out to Jack Cronin and Shannon, because what a great job, right? Like, we've been getting into USL, and the commentary is atrocious. And not only is it atrocious, it's not informative. It doesn't add anything to the actual broadcast itself, which is unfortunate. Again, the team worked really hard. I believe this is the first time where, you know, this season they were able to have communications with Loyal broadcasting team, which, you know, hands them little tidbits. Shout out Sean Kelly with his beautiful media packet. But, you know, Shannon and Jack, they know what they're talking about, especially like not taking anything away from former Two Balls and my guest, Mr. Jack Cronin, but Shannon knows her shit. Shannon knows her shit, and she knows what she's talking about, and she gives you insights into the game that you wouldn't even think of. And not necessarily talking just in the sense of like, oh wow, like that's a good play breakdown. To the degree her level of soccer IQ is so high that even for somebody who's watched soccer the entirety of their life and has played it and understands it to an intimate level, I find myself learning something or picking up on something that Shannon picks up after she says it, obviously, because, you know, you see the game through your own perspective, but when you just know it at a molecular level in order to be a world champion and you know, a legendary soccer player, it comes through. And that's something that I have to give a shout out to is the broadcast team and Shannon and Jack, man. You guys killed it out there. But yeah, so good on Las Vegas and Las Vegas on yeah, good on Las Vegas losing. So Chiva predicts that it's gonna fucking happen. There's gonna be a goal. It happened.
Right now, it's one play.
Las Vegas Lights FC goal scored in the 17th minute by Alvaro Quesada.
This is the part of the fan base and the supporters section and the culture of it, right? You're down 1-0. You're losing. It's a blow to the emotional side of every fan in that stand, in that crowd. You got to keep singing, man. You got to keep singing, and the flags are waving. The locals, the chavos, are going insane, even after going down 1-0. Again, just commending that supporter section and everything that has been built up to this day. It's not going to be as good as Phoenix on 619 Day, just because of the amount of people that are going to be there. But this stadium might as well have been packed with the amount of energy and noise that the locals and the chavos brought. So, congratulations to you guys. About that. So here's the unfortunate goal to Las Vegas that had them go up 1-0. The thing about this goal is that it should never have happened. Never, especially off a throw-in, right? So here you have Las Vegas with the throw-in, pretty much in the beginning last third of San Diego Loyal side. Throw-in is going to come in. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe viable targets for this throw-in. None of them look anywhere near dangerous. So what ends up happening is
at keeper here for Vegas.
A throw-in over, not to the person too. It was almost like a through pass. So it goes through, I believe, Elijah right here. And then Estevato, like, he does something that it's either the ball or the guy passes, never both, right? So, because if you do, well, you'll see what's going to happen.
Throughout the preseason, this one down to
just
the touchline on the
speed,
offensive
just
end.
uses speed.
Back to it, and Vegas has scored first.
Gets around our boy, the defense, just looking around like what just happened. Unfortunately, at minute 16, it looked like same old story, same old everything, same old Loyal. This is the 0-4 Loyal that we've been seeing, that we've been experiencing, that has the same mistakes over and over again. So not only does he get around the entirety of the defense right along the touchline, there's 2 defenders right there, right? So you have Jack, who's already, if you look, let's see if I can do that. Jack's already pointing at number 24 right over here, like, hey, somebody needs to cover him. Maybe you cover him, but at the same time, you have another defender who is marked over here, number 19, but another Las Vegas player who's doing the cha-cha. He's doing the run. He's lining up where there's absolutely nobody. Look at all that green space between Jack, Van Kazil, and everybody else. That's a large portion of the area that's just unmarked green pasture for anybody to just run wildly. So, okay, first mistake, throw in coverage. Bad. Second, you were going to pick up a yellow card anyway, so drop him. San Diego Loyal didn't pick up a yellow card this game at all. Granted, Grant Stoneman was not on the field to get his typical to his, there's 4 things in this life that are guaranteed. 1, death, taxes, the Spanish commentary table in a WWE pay-per-view is going to be destroyed, and Grant Stoneman's going to get a yellow card. He wasn't in this game to pick up a yellow card, but that's one of the opportunities that you had as a defender to say, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and just take this, and it's going to, they're going to get a free kick, but I have enough confidence in us to be able to regroup and make sure that nothing dangerous happens. He goes through. Again, nobody's marking him. Where is, Van Kazil? I could see you're trying to protect that angle, but it's a tight angle where you want to trust Trey Muse and his frame to be able to block a shot. Hopefully not bring it up into the middle. But even if you do ricochet the ball off a save in the middle, you are going to be covering whoever's coming in. Same thing with Jack. Jack is, covering the back just in case it does go past Trey Muse. You want to go ahead and clear that ball, because even if it does get Trey Muse, the chances of him stopping it and slowing it down are very high in that close angle attempt. Trey Muse could have come out if Van Kuyzel is putting a little pressure on the back of number 24 right over there.
Back to it, and Vegas has scored first.
And just a little simple tapping. And that's the story of San Diego Loyal up until now.
Hills has made it 1-0 Vegas. And
Right there, player gets to turn the corner. It's an easy tap and off a
yes,
throw.
Shannon.
And this is a set play. You shouldn't have this mental lapse.
Shouldn't have.
You see there.
And again, there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking here, but it's what else? What else can we say to to what we are? We wouldn't be doing our quote job or not job, internship, free job. But if we didn't criticize what needs to be criticized and point out, right? Obviously, I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to tell, hey, Nate, hey, Landon, like this. Notable difference in this game too. No Landon Donovan on the touchline because he had a red card last game and was not allowed to be on the field for this game. What was I going to say? Shout out to the media team for San Diego Loyal because they've been absolutely murdering it this entire season. Like I said, the San Diego Loyal media team is undefeated, just undefeated. They are 5-0, and they're doing a fantastic job. Also, notably, Miguel Berry came back. It was one of the things that I saw at training before he was announced, and fun little story about that, right? So I pull up to the Olympic Training Center and get parked, start getting all my stuff, get it together, and then all I hear is just Porsche SUV just like comes up, door opens, Rage Against the Machine is just blaring, and out comes Chairman Andrew Vasiliadis. And, hey, how's it going? Start talking. And he's like, hey, are you here to see anything special? This and that? Or I'm like, no, just here to, regular. I've been to these a couple times, get a couple players and talk to them. And yeah, it's like, oh, well, I want to keep an eye out because this and that. Like, okay, like, that's weird. All right, sounds good. So we go walk down, and then as you guys may know or may not know, I have terrible eyesight. People, before you say, oh, you should get them fixed, you get glasses. It doesn't work. I have a condition called keratoconus that is inoperable. The only thing, not inoperable, but there's no cure for it, right? So pretty much my eye's like this, and the eye goes like this, but my eye goes like this, and then it sticks out a little bit. Like if it goes like this, and it sticks out like a cone. Pretty much, I can't read anything here. I could see from it. But I did hear, hey, Miguel, a couple times. This was a part of the segment where there was the players just dispersed amongst each other. Some were going into the tent, some were this. And so I saw Miguel Berry. I'm like, oh, shit, Miguel, okay, ¿qué onda, cómo estás? Granted, I'm not the biggest expert on USL for now, but I'm learning, right? So then I obviously didn't realize that Jack Maher was part of the team, making it the third Jack here. Shout out to Jerry / the locals who made that Full House reference. There you go, Full House graphic, like the show Full House, not the cards Full House. So so Jack Maher was part of that announcement of signing. So you had Miguel Ibarra, you had Miguel Berry Ibarra coming in after being part of the preseason forever. The players themselves did not know if he was going to be part of the team. They actually gave him shit in one of the trainings as they were walking. Hey, Miguel, when are you going to sign? Ya vente, cabrón. Like, blah, blah, blah. And, he was obviously in talks with other teams, possibly MLS. Didn't happen. Somebody just turned on a car outside my garage. Hopefully it's somebody I know. But yeah, so, signings to hopefully boost San Diego Loyals attacking. The midfield is looking solid, looking good, but they did have the piece of Miguel Ibarra missing from what they practiced in midseason. So that added a little bit more of a different dynamic and firepower, honestly. Didn't really see that in the first half. But what you did see is, you know, a little bit more dangerous play from SanDiego Loyal.
Momentum and find a goal of their own.
So you had to get a little bit of a good 1-2. Guido played an excellent game. Great pass. Jack Blake doing cutting into the inside, backheeling it, almost un autopase. Shout out to shout out to Fat Weather Podcast, obviously. But shout out to Alan, who loves the term. And I think Drew, I mean, like auto pass, auto goal, just like a self pass, self goal type of dynamic. But yeah, so this was the most dangerous play up until that point, other than that header. Guido laying it off to Jack Blake. Jack Blake cutting onto the inside with 2 defenders and missing with his left foot. It was a good effort, man. Like, it happens, right? It's one of those things where, you know, you get something like that, and at least you're knocking on that door. In the beginning stages of the second half, still down 1-0. Another header. Ibarra has time, but just misses the header. Just misses it right next to the post, like just an inch or 2 away. And then, boom, Trey Muse with the good, solid hands, blasting the ball all the way up. No qualms about it. Here we go. Miguel Berry coming in, right? So Miguel Berry comes into the game, and they're talking about, oh, is this going to be the spark that they need, right? It ended up being the spark that they needed, because Miguel Berry, number 77, is that Mousy? Right. No, I don't want to get this wrong. Yeah, Miguel Berry, number 77, comes up and lays a great pass across the field. Here comes Jack Blake with the ball. Then he crosses it into the middle, outside of the box, media luna. We still don't know how to say that in English. La media luna. Guido locks, loads, low driven, and Guido scores. The first goal of the season at home, SanDiego Loyal. That side of the Torero gets a lot of love with goals. Name a better duo, right? SanDiego Loyal against Las Vegas. Low driven goal on that side. Like, it was a good effort by SanDiego Loyal. They tied the game 1-1. There were still dangerous plays. Another header, Corey Herzog, right at the goalkeeper of Las Vegas. And then at the end of the game, this is what happens. We call this in Spanish a carambola. Pretty much, the ball's there, the ball's here, the ball's everywhere. We don't know where the ball's going, and you know, it's just happenstance. It's a serendipitous event that, you know, thankfully ended in the best case scenario for SanDiego Loyal here in the 86th minute. Herzog misses. They both like laser it into the goalkeeper. Herzog then just taps it a little bit higher than everybody else in the legs, and Herzog scores the goal. That's 1, 2, 3 misses, 4, and then just 5. There was 5 shots inside the six-yard box. And Corey Herzog getting his first goal for SanDiego Loyal here at home. The game-winning goal. It wasn't the prettiest goal. If you look at his highlights, though, this is pretty much what he does. Inside of the box, he's lethal. And finally able to get that monkey off his back, as Shannon was saying. You know, it was an excellent effort by Corey Herzog and the entirety of SanDiego Loyal. Chiva caught up with Alejandro Guido, because again, these are some of the cool things that we're able to do. I don't want to say like, oh, look what we're doing because we're so cool at this and that. Like, the fact that we're able to go see practice for a professional soccer team, the fact that we're able to talk with professional soccer players, the fact that they're allowing us to be on the field, to be so close to the action, it's amazing. And I can't thank SanDiego Loyal enough, and you know, everybody that's involved and the locals and everybody who have you know, embraced us and have allowed us to have such cool access. Because I mean, if not for SanDiego Loyal, I think this podcast would be over by now, and that's being completely honest. And it's one of those things where we're thankful, and we want to make sure that what we do make and the content that, well, at least I do, right? I mean, he does too, but he'll tell you I'm the guy that's on his ass and on everybody's ass because I want a good product. I want everybody to come into 2 balls and a mic, that's what she said, and make sure that they have and leave with some insight, some new knowledge about a player, an angle that they didn't see behind the scenes. That's what we hope for this, right? And you know, it's amazing that we're able to do such things. So this was after the game, post game. Alejandro Guido, he scored a goal, and this is what he had to say.
How much motivation does this give the team in the next couple of away games?
Oh, it gives us just so much. You know it's so hard when you know you deserve more and you come with a loss, especially going away, and you know, giving like on the ride back, on the flight back, everyone's in a pissy mood. And now we can start the week with a positive attitude and be able to say like, hey guys, we got this, you know, like we can push forward and we can, like, if we stay strong at home, we're gonna make playoffs.
And that's true. This whole time, and I've been speaking with a couple of the players and the frontline staff and you know, coaching, and that was the underlying not necessarily message, but thought and mental space that everybody was in. Like, they could not afford to lose another game, a home game in front of their fans, and being so close, right? That Tacoma game, like that Tacoma game was, if you guys wanted to watch that 1904 game where they said, oh, Landon was like, oh, I've never seen so many opportunities in a soccer game. Well, you didn't score all of them. And Tacoma was another example of that. You had so many opportunities and you didn't capitalize on them. And there was a couple games where you could have maybe tied, you could have won Rio Grande. Maybe that was one of the games where it should have been a tie, maybe. A win should have been a win, if you really want to be honest about it, with the firepower that San Diego Loyal has. So that's good that Guido recognized that. Also note that when I did go to practice was on that Wednesday before the Saturday of the home opener, and I've never seen a more intense training session from San Diego Loyal, and I've been there a couple times, and this time, like, there was something else in the air. I asked Elijah, I asked Jack, hey, like, what's different with this day? What's you know, why are you guys going to win? Not necessarily why are you guys going to win? What was different? And they really went out there and then showed it. Corey was a short little.
Do you feel like there's a weight off your shoulders now to get the first goal?
100%. Every striker will say that. So hopefully there's more to come.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Short, pretty, Herzog. Well done. You know, you can tell that there really was that weight. It was bearing on him, being benched even in the last game. You know, he put himself in that prime position to be able to capitalize on the opportunity that he had. Again, not the prettiest goal, but that doesn't matter, right? The scoreline still said goal next to 86, Corey Herzog, game-winning goal. So good on you. And then we had, because again, Landon was not on the field because of that red card. So he was somewhere in the stands at halftime. They were interviewing him and they had the image of the El Palco, the press box where he was at, but it was just too far away to see it because it was the entire outline of the whole thing with the giant cross at USD coming out. So I thought that was funny. But Nate Miller, right? Nate Miller, X's and O's guys. This guy lives, breathes soccer. And for those of you that might not have a chance to go or hear exactly, and then even if you did, you see Nate out there instead of Landon. Nate is the X's and O's guys, right? Like, I'm not saying Landon isn't. I'm not saying Landon doesn't really contribute. He does, 100%. He is as much part of the managerial decisions that goes on as Nate, but you know, there's different things, right? Like, Nate is that X's and O's guys. Well, he'll stop the play he'll stop the training and say, hey, look, this, you here, you there. I need you to do this type of movement. In game, he does the adjustments. Hey, Tumi, haz esto, or ¿cómo se llama? Jack, Blake, move over here. Guido, I need to pick it up. And so that's him. Landon too has that experience of being on the field, knowing what it's like to be in this setting, in those between the lines, right? And so he gives that different types of insight, not necessarily saying he's not an X's and O's guy, but he is, what he contributes is very much different, right? Did that have anything to do with the victory this time? The fact that it was Nate Miller leading it? I really don't think so. And I really don't even want to start that conversation or even entertain such thoughts. But, you know, it is what it is. Nate Miller getting his first solo win, I believe, maybe. But as far as the season, right? His first win of the season. Would anything have changed tactically had Landon been down there? I really don't think so. So I think through and through, this was going to be a San Diego Loyal victory, or as close to a victory as it would have been with or without Landon. So this is Nate Miller at the end of the game after his first victory at Torero this season.
Yeah, a lot of conversations. I think the biggest.
So Chiva asked, what was the halftime conversation to your players after being 0-1 down at halftime?
Thing was, we have to remember Tacoma. We Tacoma in the first half a couple weeks ago, and we didn't respect the game. We kind of just threw everything forward. We were just frustrated, felt like we didn't deserve to be down, and so we talked about that. We understood that we just had to take care of the next 2 minutes, and do the right things. Subs came in, made a big impact. We talked about really pressing to get an early goal, but then not overcommitting and staying committed to our process. So I thought we ended counterattacks well to make sure we could stay in their half and then just sustain pressure, and they finally broke.
And again, check out Chiva's video. He did a great job out there covering San Diego Loyal. He had a blast. And again, thank you for everybody that makes this possible and listens to us and validates us in a sense, because, you know, we're just a podcast. This is my garage. We have equipment, but we're validated in the sense that some of you guys listen and like our insight and like what we talk about. We're getting better. We want to hear more of what you guys want to hear. So let us know at 2ballsandamic. You can also email at 2ballsandamic@gmail.com. You can call the phone number. You can hit us up on the DMs. Whatever you guys want to hear, want to listen to on the Discord with locals. We're on there. It's mostly me. But we're on there. So great job with Nate Miller out there. And again, I just want to show a couple of the images and what it was like over there, courtesy of the San Diego Loyal Twitter stream. Got Jerry starting things up. By the way, there was a complaint, right? The music's a little bit too loud. We mentioned that last year because we were trying to vlog and there was loud ass music and copyrights, you know. So that was that. Roberto Ruiz. Nate Aborrea, you don't have to ask for these guys to stand up and make noise. They're already making noise, right? So it was fantastic out there. You know, it was a comeback victory. Le dieron la vuelta. They were down 1-0 at halftime. But again, there was a chance here where there was a handball and wasn't called.
Here you see it's a great ball bent
Ball
in from
bounces,
Spencer here.
gets touched on the
Off
arm.
bounce.
Yep. It's the thing about refereeing here in the USL, like, you know, it happens. And the Tifo, man. Shout out. Shout out to the Chavos. Shout out to the Chavos. Shout out to the locals. Shout out to Hanger. Shout out to everybody involved in the Tifo making. It's beautiful. I can't say anything that, you know, you can't see and don't feel when you see the Tifo hecho in San Diego with Bum and El Chavo. You know, it's great stuff. I really think this game was decided by the fans and that emotional component that they were able to bring in. We also had a ticket winner that had a fantastic time. Elijah over here celebrating at Torero with Corey. Corey, you deserve Dr. Pepper, bro. Like 100%. You deserve it. Hope you had a 2-liter over the break. I'm just shocked that they allow him to drink it like so openly, right? Like, it's a professional player and, you know, you want to promote this, you want to promote that. Like, it wouldn't hurt one Dr. Pepper, right? But like, I remember when I was coming up, like, you couldn't even like say like, oh, well, what'd you eat for lunch? Just, oh, pues comí unas papitas. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's not, te regañan. Go take 3 laps for those papitas. I don't know what would happen if I just, I drank like 3 Dr. Peppers. Like, nah, bro, like get the fuck out of here. But definitely an amazing night over at Torero, 2-1. Everybody did a fantastic job. I can't say. Hasta el Tumi, güey. El Tumi was the one that started that game-winning goal, right? He did that little shimmy on the side, got rid of the defender, was able to cross it in and start that chaos. And shout out to USL Championship Team of the Week player, Jack Metcalf, man. Jack is outstanding out there and really deserved it this weekend. I mean, player of the year too is player of the week too is the supporter section. So, you know, I can't say enough about you guys. And next game up is gonna be over in ¿cómo se llama? Up in, oh my God, Orange, en el Orange. Yeah, so they're going to go ahead and now for this game travel all the way over in June 5th back against Phoenix Rising, man. So in Chandler, so that's going to happen, and hopefully, this is the different team, different dynamic. They go in and don't lose 4-1, hopefully that doesn't happen. I'd be happy, to be completely honest, with the tie. I'm not gonna lie, because this team is the strongest team, maybe other than Tampa Bay Rowdies in the USL right now. So hopefully we come out with a win in that game. I'll predict a 1-1 tie. Hopefully a win, right? Hopefully a win. After that, June 9th at Orange County. I think I'm gonna be at that one. So everybody's making their plans to travel all the way up. And finally, this is a long ass episode. This is what happens when Chiva's not here. Finally, Cruz Azul, fellow blue team, right? Fellow blue team has finally won La Liga Mexicana after 23 years of not winning it, making it final after final, having legendary players on their team in Mexican terms, right? El Chelito Delgado, they used to have El Chaco Jimenez, Torrado, Dani Osorno, Miguel Cepeda. I can go way back, but they just hadn't had that opportunity to win, and they finally were able to get, again, the perpetual monkey off of their back, and the fact that they won the championship after so much shit talk from everybody else, all the other fan bases. It was about time. Not gonna lie, it was about time. Ya se pasaron de verga, güey. Like, come on, 23 years having the teams that you guys had, and the way that they lost it too. Like, again, you go back and they've made the championship games, but they just weren't able to get it. Championship series, they just weren't able to get it done. Heartbreaks like that one America versus Cruz Azul with Moises Munoz tying the game, and then the Piojo memes and the going Super Saiyan. That obviously, in soccer terms, I'm not a fan of Cruz Azul or America at all. Chivas fan, but it's special. It's special. But it just sucks that it kept happening to Cruz Azul, and it just kept happening to them, right? And finally, here they go against Santos Laguna. A now, very solid team, and has been for the last couple of years, ever since times of Jared Borghetti, Pony Ruiz, and moving later on to with Osvaldo Sanchez, Woso, Ludueña. But it was a good matchup, even matchup. Cruz Azul going up 1-0 in the midweek first leg, and then even then, like, obviously asking Cruz Azul fan, like, hey, you guys think you're gonna win? It was very hesitant. It was a very hesitant, hopefully, because they were scarred from all the other times that they were even closer, but then still fumbled it. So I do have just to kind of close it off. An interview that I had with a friend of mine. He's a Cruz Azul fan, as I was saying, and he lived it with his family. He experienced the game with his family and was able to finally celebrate with his dad, another lifelong Cruz Azul fan. This title that was just, you know, it was so elusive for them, and it's the main one, right? Like they had one like La Copa, but that doesn't. It's not the league. It's not the league. You don't get a little star for that. So here is the interview that I did with Cruz Azul fan Alejandro Ortiz.
He goes for Cruz Azul, and growing up, I didn't really like soccer. Like it wasn't around like until like 2005 or 2006 when I started catching some games with him. And I saw this player that I really liked. I don't know if you recognize him, but it's Chelito Delgado.
Oh yeah, classic.
And like I just loved how he played. You know, he would just juke a lot of players, and then sometimes he would score afterwards. And then it was until I saw him play that I started becoming like a real Cruz Azul fan. And then came along 2008, where they lost 2 finals. The Santos one and the Toluca one. Yeah, there we have them. And then 2009, they got Emmanuel Villa, who became another idol of mine. They went to the final against Monterrey. That first leg, man, they were winning 3-1, and they lost it 4-3, and they couldn't win the final at home. And then 2013.
Hold on, let me see if we. Let me put you in there. Sorry to do this to you, but.
You're not gonna show me Piojo becoming Super Saiyan, are you?
Huh?
You're not gonna show me Piojo becoming Super Saiyan?
Legendary gift that came after that. And it had to be Miguel Layún. Like Miguel Layún, like siempre era culpa de Layún. Yeah.
I know he himself was a meme before that, and then he just, you know, did great, and then went to Europe and did good things. But yeah, that final, man, it was supposed to be the grand like comeback, I guess, into the championship.
Yeah. Against America.
And then at least you didn't show me the freaking Moises Muñoz goal, dude.
That was insane. Like that was one of those moments where, like, at least for me, right? Like that never tends to happen. The last time I remember it happening was with Miguel Calero in Pachuca, where he scored against Chivas. But even though it wasn't him who touched it last, like it was another defender. Yeah, it was another defender. But I mean, you know, now we're speaking of it. It's Clásico Joven. It was again one of the greatest moments in final history. Like
it's things. Like,
it's just pain, but again, Cruz Azul had not won, you know, pretty much in your lifetime. I mean, not necessarily your lifetime, but you know, not sure if you.
I mean, I did exist.
Yeah.
When they won the '97 championship.
Yeah.
But I was 2 years old. Like, you know, I was probably shitting my pants.
Yeah.
Wait, can I continue your podcast?
Oh, 1000%, bro. Okay. HR isn't gonna come after us here. I've made it a safe harbor for us. Like we're chilling. But that 97 ¿cómo se llama? Roster with just leyendas. I mean,
yeah. Juan Reynoso himself, he was there. Conejo Perez,
Palencia,
Dio, of course. Fuck, how could I forget him?
Let's look at some of these. I'm genuinely clear. Like one I always remembered is Manuel Vidrio, because then he went to Pachuca. So let's see.
Okay.
The last time they won this was, like you said, 1997, right?
Right.
They had Oscar Perez, Jorge Campos
too.
Yeah, I guess. Notable people. I remember Guadalupe Castañeda. I remember that guy. Héctor Altamirano, a 21-year-old Héctor Altamirano, el Piti Altamirano.
Oh, he went to Santos afterwards, right?
Yep. El Benja, el profe, el 38-year-old profe, Benjamín Galindo at the time. Juan Francisco Palencia. I mean, Carlos Hermosillo up top, man. Like what a team, but what a Mexican team, because that was the basis for the great 1997, 1998 team that went over and represented Mexico and France. But let's move it a little forward, right? So again, I saw this, and you know, there's so many Cruz Azul fans out there that, you know, I was happy that you guys got yours. In the fashion that you guys did, maybe a little bit too much time passed between those championships, but let's see if I can throw this there and then go.
Yep. By the way, those are 9 hearts in order to represent the 9 championships. Attention to detail.
Nice. So take me through yesterday, right? So you guys were winning 1-0. What was your thoughts going in? That was your dad, right? Or
yeah. That was my
so
my
también lifelong Cruz Azul fan, I imagine.
Yeah, funny enough, well, before I talk about that, he hadn't seen the 97 final.
Oh shit.
Funny story, he was working, he does tile flooring, and he was working at his cuñado's house. He was working on the bathroom floor on the day of the final, and his cuñado, he's a León fan. So he was watching the game like in the comfort of his living room, and my dad was working on the bathroom. And so it wasn't until the end when he like learned that Cruz Azul won. But this was his, like, you know, the final he got to watch and have Cruz Azul win. But like you said, what was going through my mind? Well, you know, the first half was fucking terrible, man.
Yeah.
Cruz Azul didn't do anything. They were like, it didn't seem like they were parking the bus already, but definitely Orbelín Pineda and Roberto Alvarado weren't like doing anything, and the midfield was just like Toli Santos, and they were taking advantage of that and attacking. But yeah, once Diego Valdez made that golazo, man, I did start to feel like shit. Like, is it gonna be another? I'm not even gonna say that word, but is it gonna be another, like, you know, final loss?
Like here we go again, right? Like
I just stood up and I didn't even say anything. I was just like, it's happening again. But you know, halftime came and I knew that Juan Reynoso had to do some changes, and he did them. And right from the get-go, the team looked different, and you know, they scored that goal, which it's controversial. I mean, I've been seeing, you know, like Fútbol Picante and all these like past referees say that it is valid. What I conclude is that it's so debatable that I think it's like the ideology of the refs to like just let it stand if it's not clear-cut evidence that there was like a whatever. And yeah, I mean, towards the end, I was just hoping, like, just watching the freaking timer, you know, just Jonathan Rodriguez, my new favorite player. I was just waiting for the game to end, and it ended.
And it ended, man. And Chuy Corona, goalkeeper extraordinaire, represented Mexico for several different occasions. Been in the league for 18 years. Finally winning his first championship, Liga Mexicana, Liga MX. You know, there's so many good storylines around here, but the overall storyline that I'm most happy for is the fans, man, because como sufren. Like, there wasn't a team that suffered as much as Cruz Azul fans. Were the butt of every joke when it came to Liguilla, and it's about time that you guys got that monkey off your back, and you know, I couldn't be happier. And you know, it's scenes like that make this sport what it is. You know, it was a long time coming, and I'm happy you guys got it in the sense, and you know, just brought so much joy. And on social media, you just see how many people, you know, what it meant to those people, like the people that were there. There's a lifelong fans. You know, actually at work, you're kind of familiar. There's a guy, the IT guy, right, that's working on all the computers for everybody. He was like, "Oh, what do you think is gonna happen on this game?" I'm like, "Oh, well, you know, it's Cruz Azul. Like, you know, it's 1-0. It's gonna happen." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know you liked Liga Mexicana. ¿Quién le vas tú?" He's like, "Cruz Azul." I was like, "Oh shit." I'm like, "Oh, my bad." But again, I'm really happy for everybody involved in Cruz Azul. I mean, and hopefully you guys don't have to wait another 23 years or wait another 23 years. That just means Chivas gets another campeonato and starts catching America, because it's unacceptable that they have the most stars on there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that either. But yeah, like for sure, who I think deserved that title the most, I mean, besides the fans, was Corona and Gata, because they have been through like the majority of those lost finals, which were freaking Monterrey, America twice.
Yeah.
That was only two, actually, three. But Gata was there for Toluca and Santos as well. And just like watching him, like he was being interviewed by like the Televisa folk, and he was saying, dude, like this has been my goal for 15 years. And like I finally accomplished it. And like this is crazy.
Yeah.
Just the fact, like, yeah, even no, I never thought the memes were funny. But just having to like bounce back from all those losses and having to set like your mentality to like win the championship and finally getting it, that's just great. I think that's like a good like life lesson too, to like not give up on your dreams or anything like that, because you might get it one day.
Yeah, and life lesson again. I don't know if you ever watched La Familia Peluche.
Yeah,
Ludovico is somewhere out there smiling just because his Cruz Azul finally got one. I've always had a soft spot for Cruz Azul. Again, Chelsea colors, almost iconic uniform color. I miss El Estadio Azul. That was great. The fans are great in there. I've always had a soft spot for them. Do you know there's a Japanese that also used to wear Cruz Azul, named Cruz Azul? Really? Sponsored by Cemento Cruz Azul. Yeah, let me see if I can.
Show me that. It's funny because yesterday I was reading Super Campeones memes, because apparently it was like, what if I wake up and I don't have legs? And it was all a dream, Cruz Azul didn't win the championship.
Where is it?
That myth is so dark.
Hey, maybe that was a fever dream that I'm thinking of now. But I mean, I put Cruz Azul Japón, and it's like aficionado número uno de Cruz Azul, apoya Cruz Azul. Not sure. It's the same guy. Interesting. Might have been a fever dream where this happened. Anywho, but no. Again, it's really exciting. You guys finally got that championship, and hopefully, like I said, you guys don't have to wait long for another one. Or if you do, hopefully you guys just lose to Chivas, and it's a good story for us. But again, just want to thank you, Alejandro, for coming on and sharing some of your experience as a Cruz Azul fan, suffering through all of that yesterday. It culminated in hopefully tears of joy and celebration with you and your family, and that's what the beautiful thing about this sport, like I said, that brings people together. Is there anything else you want to say about yesterday, or about your team, Cruz Azul, or anything?
No, just proud of them for finally getting what they worked for so long. Hopefully this kind of creates a winning culture and they win some more. And I hope to see Cruz Azul versus Chelsea match in the Club World Cup. That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. Blue on blue crime is always fun. Thank you, Alejandro, for your time, man. Stick around. We'll go ahead and talk to you right now. So thank you once again, Alejandro, for that. Exciting times for people who support teams in blue. So with that said, I just want to say a thank you for listening to this extended episode of Two Balls and a Mic with only one ball. And shout out to Tacos del Vaquero. Shout out to Fierce Beats, who had a Memorial Day sale. And without further ado, all I want to say, not that at all. All I want to say is, let's go. Let's fucking go.